Majority Leader?
Statement.
Honorable Speaker, I think I'd rather start with the CDF one.
Whichever you want.
I think in the interest of attention for members, Honorable Speaker, allow me to start with a statement from the National Treasury on CDF, funding of National Government Constituency Development Fund, Ng-Cdf, and the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, Ng-Cdf. Honorable Speaker, in a letter dated 8th June 2023, addressed to the Honorable Speaker, and they say reference is made to our letter, their letter, referenced AG 1351 Volume 4, 76, dated 24 January 2023, and wish to update the House as follows on the status of Ng-Cdf and Ng-Cdf disbursements. 1, National Government Constituency Development Fund. The Ng-Cdf fund was allocated 47.2 billion shillings in the financial year 2022-2023. The National Treasury has so far disbursed Kenya shillings 18 billion. In addition, a further disbursement of 5 billion shillings is being processed to be released on Friday, that's tomorrow. And a further Kenya shillings 5 billion will be released on Tuesday of next week. This brings the total disbursements to Kenya shillings 38 billion. The National Treasury hopes to clear the outstanding balance of 19.2 billion by the close of the financial year. The delay in keeping up with weekly disbursements of Kenya shillings 2 billion was occasioned by challenges in resource mobilization, both domestically and externally. Honorable Speaker, if you can protect me from the heckling from a senior member like the Honorable John Buddy. And he has the liberty to wait for me to read the statement, and he can request, as he knows, to contribute other than heckling, and I'm just reading what is on the statement.
Go ahead.
John Buddy has been here for long enough to know.
Order.
To be a good example to the new members.
Order.
Honorable Speaker, I was saying the delay in keeping up with weekly disbursement of Kenya shillings 2 billion was occasioned by challenges in resource mobilization, both domestically and externally. However, the situation has improved with the disbursement of funds from World Bank Development Policy Operations Facility, which was disbursed this week. 2, on the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, Ng-Cdf. The National Government Affirmative Fund, Ng-Cdf, was allocated a budget of 2.13 billion in the financial year 2022-2023. The National Treasury has so far released 50% of this allocation, an amount of 1.065 billion, and is in the process of disbursing the balance of 1.065 billion, constituting the balance of the 50% before the end of this financial year. And as I said, beginning with disbursements tomorrow and Tuesday of next week. Honorable Speaker, it is also worth noting that the National Treasury, in keeping with the commitment made before IBEC and to the nation earlier this week, late last week, and the commitment this week to disburse to our county governments, that from today, Honorable Speaker, the National Treasury has released funds and is releasing funds going to our county governments. In conclusion, the National Treasury remains committed to funding Ng-Cdf, Ng-Cdf, and our county governments and other items of interest both to the members of the public and the honorable members of the National Assembly and the Senate, appreciating the support and collaboration between Parliament and the Executive. Yours sincerely, Njuguna Ndungu, Professor CBS, Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury. Honorable Speaker, let me also add, besides that written statement, I've had an engagement this morning, and indeed up to this lunchtime, with CS, National Treasury, Professor Ndungu, who is in Naivasha with the Finance Committee, and he did commit that this statement was coming and asked that we do engage with the Director General, the Director General Accounting Services, Mr. Ndungu, who we have engaged over this lunch hour, and he has confirmed that indeed by tomorrow, as they have committed, he is making arrangements to disburse the 5 billion shillings, and by Tuesday next week, they will have disbursed, another 5 billion shillings. And they commit, Honorable Speaker, saying the challenges have been occasioned by the challenges that we are all aware since we all live in this country. There have been challenges with the exchequer, there has been challenges with receivables in government, Honorable Speaker, and therefore he has committed, with the support that they have now received from the World Bank on that facility that they have, and the tax collections they have made, they continue to mobilize, they will be able to disburse all of CDF, and no amount of CDF for this financial year will be carried forward to the next financial year. And I think, Honorable Speaker, that is very important, so that we do not have arrears. As you are aware, Honorable Speaker, the Budget and Appropriations Committee also did allocate some money towards clearance of arrears. They have also indicated that they will clear those arrears, and they do not intend to carry forward arrears from this year into the next financial year. And he has committed that they will endeavor and ask for your thanks, members of Parliament. He did ask me to ask members of Parliament to indulge them, and thank you for your patience over that time, because many of our constituents have been suffering without CDF, Honorable Speaker. I myself, I was in my constituency over the recess period, and I visited at least 3 schools which, as a result of the heavy rains, pit latrines collapsed. And the children in those schools now are using semi-permanent pit latrines because we didn't have even emergency funds. We had cleared all our emergency money, and therefore I, like every other member of this House, I am looking forward to the disbursement of this money, and hopefully by the end of next week, I can promise the children of Karai Day Secondary School, those of Gadhiru Primary School, and one other school which I can't remember offhand, Honorable Speaker, who have requested for emergency funding for toilets and other needs, including bursary, Honorable Speaker, they should be able to assuage. But Honorable Speaker, if you allow me, let me also plead, and I don't do this on behalf of the National Treasury, I do this as a leader in this country. That is, it is so easy to say things that will excite the masses out there. But we all live in this country, and we lived in this country before this year. And we know the situation of our economy. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, even as we engage on matters that we will be engaging on this afternoon on budget, on the appropriations report, or the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, let it be at the back of our minds that whatever expenditures we are discussing, and including Ng-Cdf, because it is in that report. And the Honorable John Mbadi, we remember back in 2018, we got to a point where we even had to take a haircut on Ng-Cdf. It is good that at least in the last 2 years, amidst all the difficulties, we have not had to take a haircut either on Ng-Cdf or on any other government projects, including the 900 billion shillings of roads committed to over the last 5 years. And this government, Honorable Speaker, has indicated that they intend to finance all those roads across the country without discriminating, that this project is in Kikuyu or is in John Mbadi's former constituency or in the constituency of the leader of minority, so that we are able to mobilize resources. Honorable Speaker, I have seen very good analysts on our TV stations. Some saying, oh, the first thing you should do is completely cut on expenditure. Stop all the development projects. But Honorable Speaker, those who have been to a class of economics, like the Honorable Babu Owino, will tell you, if you are to do that, you will be shooting yourselves right in the middle of your toe, the big toe, and you will not be able to work as a country and as an economy. Because it is these development projects that spur economic growth in our countries. When roads are being constructed in your constituencies, they create employment, and people therefore are able even to raise more taxes because they have disposable income. If you were to go that route, Honorable Speaker, as I've seen some analysts on TV encourage us to do, and I say this, Honorable Speaker, because this afternoon we have before us, I know when we were here up to 9 p.m., many of us were not here. We have the second reading on the budget and appropriations report. As we contribute, it is good that we have that at the back of our minds. That even as analysts who seem very knowledgeable on TV, but I must say some are ignorantly knowledgeable. Because you just need to have attended a basic economics class to know that if you are to cut down on government expenditure, government is the single largest spender of resources. And without disbursement of resources from government, be it at the national level or at the county level, this economy will come to a standstill, Honorable Speaker. And we must therefore, even as we consider this budget appropriations report, have at the back of our minds that also what we will finance is what will be before us when the Finance Committee finally tables their report, Honorable Speaker. And without much more, Honorable Speaker, on that matter, if you allow me to move on to the second statement, my usual Thursday statement on the House Business Committee. Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Millie.